I'm pretty clear, right?
Sound loud and clear to me.
All right, cool. Microphone set up.
Yo, yo, how about me? Mic check 1318.
Let that music bump. All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. I know it's been a while. um, I've been out here doing the Lord's work, but I got my man with me today, and we're gonna have a conversation, and hopefully a few people jump in. We're gonna call this conversation "The Age of Vanity." My man Prime, and I got to give him all the credit in the world for saying this the other day on his Twitter space. He was saying, women are vain by nature, and we get that. That's not an insult. That's just women's natural order, right? They're pretty. They're the fairer sex. Um, but what we are in now is the age of vanity, where that the average man thinks normal can get him by, normal looking, normal dressing, even to an extent, normal vernacular, or normal being just basically not being the most eloquent in speaking. And so normal doesn't work in our community. We're going to use the word black, even though we're freemen, but we'll say normal doesn't work in the black American community because, and this is what I'm going to illustrate today, and I want Prime to jump in anytime he wants. If you look at television from the 60s, 70s, 80s, even to the 90s, every leading actor, most, and I say most, the predominant leading men that were actors were normal looking men, especially on the black American side. So if you look at shows like Good Times, right? If you look at James' head, if he put his head in front of the camera, he like this the Batman sign. That's how his hairline looked. Um, if
Yep.
you looked at Sherman Hemsley, right? He had the sunroof in his afro, right? If you looked at Yaphet Kotto with the patches missing, right? If you looked at listen, most lead male actors, whether men or women, I mean, I mean, whether black or white, were normal looking guys. Archie Bunker was a normal looking guy, right? You had attractive men in lead positions, but for the most part in sitcoms, the father was a very average looking male. You did not look at James Evans for the sex appeal. You looked at James Evans for the masculinity, knowing that that belt can come off at any time. He was the judge and the jury of his house. Um, so let's look at that. You got John Amos. You got Sherman Hemsley. You got Red Fox, very average, older guy, but very average looking. You have um, let's go into the 80s, right? Well, let's go into the 90s. You had Carl Winslow, very average looking guy, wasn't in great shape. Also had the Batman sign, right? You had Uncle Phil, and if you remember, a lot of the butt of the jokes of Will Smith was picking on Uncle Phil, who was bald. But then we had a person that came into the game that changed it, and his name was Steve Harvey with his hair hat, right? Where he had like a helmet hair where he put it on his head and it became like his shield, right? Like I'm young forever. And from that, you've seen Jamie Foxx hairline get better as he got older, right? And so, with that being said, look at television now. I wish I had Mo here with me to share her screen so we could show you. Like, you look at Tyler Perry sitcoms, the leading male is an attractive dude. He's not an average looking guy. I forgot my man's name from the House of Pain, not Alan Payne, but the one that played the son, the brown skinned cat, who ended up being in a few movies after that. Very attractive dude, right? Now we got Michael B. Jordan as a lead actor. Now you have, like I say, Jamie Foxx looks younger now than he looked when he had the Jamie Foxx show. And so I think that most men has not caught up to that yet. Like most men think that they could look like how their father looked at their age and be successful in the dating market. And I don't believe that is even viable because you you are up against something now that is very optic, is very in front of a if a woman turns on a television or even looks at Instagram or look at Facebook, she's seeing the upper echelon of male looks. She's seeing the creme de la creme. She's not seeing Uncle Phil no more, right? She's seeing a guy, even if he's a silver fox, he has an 8 pack, and you got a 6 pack of beer next to you. So that is, I think, a big problem with a lot of men who's not yet adjusted to like the fact that women don't, want normal, especially as far as looks. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Prime.
Absolutely, I got a lot to add to that. Salute, salute, peace to the fam. What's shaking? What's good? I am Freedman, Chief Justice, uh, Prom. But yeah, women, they do not like average, especially in this age of vanity. They hate
Mm,
average. They despise it. They want the extraordinary, wealthy men. Even if that average man, he may not be wealthy. Let's say he makes about 70 racks or 60 racks or 50 racks a year. That's not good enough because he's average.
not. Mm,
It's not good enough. He could be a great leader. He could be on the up and coming up or the up and up. Could be a great man, a great father. But I think a lot of it has to do with them being vanity driven and them not knowing how to choose properly. They don't know how to choose properly. They don't know how to pick a winner. Most of the women,
mm,
most of the women, and sadly, the social media era and age has made their expectations realistic, where they think that these men for them that are available, the exceptional men are available for them, but in actuality, it's mostly the average man who's a good man, a great man. He's very available for you, but you don't want him because he's a sanitation worker.
mm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let's just say, like, when you're out on the town, and let's say you go to your spot that you talk about, or, and let's say you're sitting down, so a woman can't naturally, like, look at your height or whatever, right? And you just like kicking it to a woman. Let's say you sit next to her, she can't really see your stature to an extent. She like only can see your face, right? Have you ever had a conversation with a woman where you ask her like what she likes in a man, what she looks for in a man, and she gives you like these astronomical metrics that you looking around like, man, where you gonna find that from? Like, or do you see women in these spots are more realistic in their criteria that they want out of a guy?
It's a little bit of everything. I'll say I usually I may not ask that. I may just have a random conversation with a chick just to spark a dialogue. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
But I may not really ask like what they're looking for because I'm not really looking to get involved with her or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So and then I don't want her thinking like, oh, this nigga on my body. You know what I mean? Like, why is he asking me? What am I into? As if I want him, or
Right.
maybe he's gonna try to adapt to what I
Right.
tell him, so he could be like that. So I don't even like really get into that until like I feel like there may be like a genuine connection,
Uh-huh.
or she seems sincere enough for one of those quality type of women. You know what I mean? Versus just
Mhm.
a regular nick bitch on the street.
It was a woman, right? And if my man sees this, he's gonna crack up because he knows what I'm talking about. It was a woman, right, who was our Facebook friend.
Mm.
She had 3 different kids by 4 different men, and she said she ain't dating a dude that ain't at least 6'3", got a full head of dreads, and has to be a certain type of dark skin.
Wow.
And she's all about 5'4", light, like
200.
candy corn light.
200 pounds.
No, she was actually in shape,
Okay.
but it's like, so just think about that.
She had
So
a
if
cute
you got to
face.
be 6'3" above, right? If your man got to be 6'3" and above, you done cut out so many men that you can actually date, right?
Right.
That's number one.
That's a good point.
Number two, he got to have a full head of dreads,
Right. That's another
right? So
limit
there's a
too.
woman that is in her late, at that time, she said it, she was in her mid to late 30s. So how many
Mm.
men in their mid to late 30s going to have a full head of dreads, right?
Good point.
And then he had to be a certain skin tone. Now we understand now that is different because there's different variants and variations and scales of that. But it's like, so, and then like you should have seen at this time, this was way before the so-called gender war. This was,
Mm.
if I had to give you a date, it was when my father first got sick. It was about 2016. So I remember guys was like going at her, like, yo, ma, like if I'm light skinned, she was like, yo, I like what I like. And this is when I was still a simp, so I didn't realize like
Oh
that's
God.
all women, right? Like they like what they like. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so when I was looking at that, I was like, yo, this woman is like batting down everybody over a strict a criteria of a guy that really don't exist. And then I said something which this is why we're no longer friends on Facebook. I said, well, what happened to the first three men that was 6'3", had dreads, had the perfect body with that skin tone that fathered their children?
Mm-hmm.
If that is the prototype,
Right.
then why isn't that prototype there right now with your family?
Mm-hmm.
Like I just like that didn't make
What
sense
she
to me.
say? Did she unfriend
She
you
blocked
after
me.
that?
Yeah, she blocked me. Because it just didn't make sense. It was just like, yo, you have the right to what you want, right? But you don't have the right. It's like, okay, what do you want? Do you want what, how women say, the good guy? Do you want what you perceive as good, or do you want what you perceive, what you want to look at, right?
Mm,
Because it's like what you just described as a woman is just everything you want to look at.
right.
And that's the difference. So
It was all physical, wasn't it?
it's all physical.
All shallow. She's shallow with the pussy. She's shallow. She's shallow. Shallow with the pussy.
And I just think that that's the line of demarcation, right? Like I think that it becomes, what is it more valuable? And the reason why I'm even having this discussion with you today is because I be thinking about my counterparts, like my peers, like how guys have not figured out, yo, I cannot think I'm gonna be successful without like changing myself, without adjusting to the market. It's like you saying the way guys approach dating is like a dude trying to buy gas in 2023 as if it's 1989. You're never gonna fill up your tank. You're never gonna fill up your car. Like gas is $4 a gallon. You come into it with $1.75. Yo, you're not going anywhere. And that's what it is, right? Guys are stuck in this like bubble that doesn't even, not only does it not even exist no more, it's like people, one thing I love about women, they could literally see you in that bubble. It won't tell you you're in a bubble, but they'll treat you like you're in a bubble, but they just not gonna tell you in that bubble. So they be like, when you leave, they be like, he stink, his haircut's whack, he can't dress. I don't know who he talking to, but when you're around, hey, how you doing? And so you think you got a shot, but then when you turn back, it's like, I don't know why. Like you see it all the time. You see it all the time, and that's the thing. Like I want men to like gravitate into understanding that, yo, you have to like me every morning, richer, wiser, stronger. That's what I always say to myself. Like, how do I get better in all these aspects of my life? Because it's not going to be a thing where, I'm just going to be fine just as is. No, at the end of the day, they're looking for more. Everyone is looking for more. Even if they claim they're content, they're looking for more. We're like dating a woman is like being a running back. It's like Saquon Barkley, right? Yo, you did this for the first 3 seasons. Well, you got to do this for the next 4 seasons. And after those 4 seasons, you better do this for the next 5 seasons. That's what it is. We're always working on an incentive to be better because normal doesn't exist. It don't. It don't. I don't, I don't see it anymore. I'm telling you, the only time in New York City I see normal is when I'm on the train and I see a Mexican couple. They both be short. They both be like content. And they just be in love, and you just be looking around like, yo, why can't our community do that? Like, it literally be like that. I think my man Prime fell off. He did fall off. But yeah, I just think that's the difference, right? Like, oh snap, we got Dr. G in the building.
Hey!
Yeah, hey, Dr. G, right? So far I was giving I was telling Prime, I was telling Prime the situation with how where now men are not cultured or aware that they can't be average for the most part no more when trying to date a woman. You understand?
Yeah, you mean what we were talking about a little bit earlier?
Yeah, exactly. I was just basically saying, like, when you look at television, so when you look at sitcoms as a child, from Archie Bunker to John Amos to Sherman Hemsley to expedite that, fast forward to the 90s, Carl Winslow, Uncle Phil, these were average looking men.
Yes.
Now, don't get it twisted. Uncle Phil was a lawyer, but he was an average looking man. There is very few. I think the last average looking in a leading role for a man on television was the guy who played King of Queens with Leah Remedy. Maybe because I don't watch TV like that any longer, but I don't see, when you look at Tyler Perry sitcoms, you see like, yeah, House of Pain where the mom and dad was average, but look at the leading role son, right? Alan Payne is still an attractive guy, pause, right? But I forgot, hey, Dr. G, what's the dude name who played the leading role on House of Pain? The fucking dude, well-built, kind of tall. What was his name? You remember his name? I forgot his name.
No, you also paying the Tyler Perry sitcom?
Right. What was the brown skinned dude, the son of the mom and dad on that one? Not Alan Payne, because Alan Payne is the nephew. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
the brown skinned dude.
Their son.
Right. The one who played in all those movies. He played in Tyler Perry.
Lance Gross.
Lance Gross, right?
Yes.
How many men are going to look like Lance Gross going to
I know,
woman?
and it's so funny that you say that because my nephew Joshua is the spitting image of Lance.
See, and I know Joshua's cup of vagina runneth over, right?
Oh, yes, yeah, it does.
Yes, because women, if think about this, if your nephew Josh was in a restaurant or just a fast food restaurant, just think about if 5 women come up to him and say, "Ooh, you look like Lance Gross," he already got it. He already won, right? Because they see him every day.
Oh, yeah.
They see Lance Gross every day. You understand? And that's the difference. And that's why I was asking Prime. I was telling Prime, like, yo, listen, men have not adjusted to that concept yet. So as a woman, I think, if I'm not mistaken, first of all, we got to give your roses. You're a doctor of psychology. You're a clinician, right? So what is your take on that? Do you realize or do you recognize that men have not adjusted to modern dating, to understanding like they can't look like their father 20 years ago now and be successful in dating. Do you agree with that?
I mean, it depends, because it kind of depends on like what father looks like.
Uh-huh. But you said it depends on what it looked like?
So, I mean, yeah, what their father looks like, because you're saying that they're
right. Well,
saying,
listen, we're talking about, listen, the average black male father in the 1990s, once he got past the age of 36, was not the pinnacle of fitness, right? From our diet.
okay, yeah, if you put the time frame on there, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I'm giving you, like, I'm just saying, like, think about how our parents look, circa 1993, when you maybe was 15 and they were in their mid 40s.
Right.
Like, how were they? They were not the pinnacle of fitness for the most part, right? So, what's your take on that?
I don't know. I don't think. I guess the kids like nowadays or back then, whatever. Like for us, well, like for me, anyways, I wouldn't have mind like looking like my mom. You know what I'm kind of saying? But I guess kids today, they don't think about that type of stuff. I guess I don't want to say because we're not that important to our kids, but I think they just kind of think, we don't
Damn.
get it. So, they don't, I don't know.
Damn. God damn. What's up, Mrs. Light-Skinned?
Hey,
What's
I
good?
just don't think that they do. You know what I'm saying?
So right. So that's my thing. Okay, Prime, let me ask you an honest question.
Okay.
Your dad, you was raised with your father, I presume, or no?
No.
Okay. What about your uncles on your mom's side?
I'm familiar with them. I wasn't raised by them, but I'm familiar with them.
Okay.
They was
At
around.
the age of, let's say at the age of 40, right? Could you look like how one of your uncles looked at the age of 40 and be out here winning in the New York City streets?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay, so they kept themselves in decent shape.
Yeah. I actually
Okay.
think I look like one of my uncles now.
Okay. Okay. But you being, as you would say, HBO, Harlem Bronx only, right? Mm-hmm. So you see, how can I say? You see that a lot of men has not caught up to understanding, like, you can't be normal dating, right?
Yeah, I agree. You have to be, like, women always want exceptional.
Exactly.
They've always wanted the best, the alpha, and the alpha is not the general rule. So they always gonna want the exceptional protector, exceptional provider, because that guarantees and ensures their greatest survival. So they're gonna wrap their legs around their best chance of survival, and including of the family that they have with that life partner of the man.
I agree with that. I agree with
go for that.
Yeah, but do you think? See that, but it could be looked at differently because if you're,
go ahead.
I don't know. Yeah, because I was gonna say maybe they were like getting with the guy just based on what perhaps their dad showed them is a man, and that would be they're more attracted to the protector aspect instead of the look. Do you kind of know what I'm saying?
Not any longer. Because
there are some.
Listen, that's some. Okay, well, let's just say you and the other
Very
8 women in the world.
But
let's just say you and the other 8 women in the world that think like that. But
not 8.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, right?
That's being generous too.
And that's being generous.
Not generous. Damn.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Dr. G. Look at it like this. We have this invisible bully, Facebook, social media, right? Because the difference was
Yes.
when your dad or someone else's father did that to their daughter, it was only in their line sight that there was a laser focus on what dad did, right? You didn't have all these other distractions, right? Because
Yeah.
think about it like this now. Think about it like this now. More children are technologically advanced than adults are. Like TikTok is run by like teenagers, right? So think about it like this. Think about, let's say it was 1994 and your mom and dad were both average earners, right? But now social media still exists now. But let's say pretend social media was on the rise then. So now you're going to grammar school the next day and realizing that your classmates' father and mother took them to Santorini, Greece over the summer, and you went to motherfucking Detroit National Park. You understand? Then it's like, Daddy, why we ain't go there? You understand? That's the difference. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the difference between a woman now saying that's how my daddy raised me into like, that's what I see. Because like what I see supersedes what I was raised to know. You understand?
Those ladies, man, there's very heavily influenced by what they see. And they have, it's the age of vanity is getting worse.
The age of vanity is getting
Social
worse.
media, to your point, social media only elevated the vanity driven women. It elevated that mindset, and we're doomed. We're going to hell. It's over. It's over.
Yeah, because we didn't have social media. Like our social media was like the television, and all of those women were natural women. You know, that we saw on TV.
That wasn't shit to what we seeing today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's
We're
why
seeing
we would be
grandmothers.
looking.
We're seeing grandmothers and mothers sticking cucumbers inside themselves.
Oh
Oh
We're
Lord.
yeah,
seeing
twerking and shit, and getting high
choking,
with their kids. Oh yeah.
getting high, choking on tool, OnlyFans. We're going to hell. Armageddon is tomorrow. The end of days.
It was last week.
The end of
But
days.
I would say that another thing that I think a lot of people haven't adjusted to is that what you just said, Prime and Dr. G at the same time, is what 80s television depicted in relationships wise. None of us ever seen Heathcliff go see his side piece when he was delivering babies. Why we ain't talking?
Carl Winslow. They didn't show
Not
his
going to
side
see
listen.
the
piece.
side piece while delivering babies.
They didn't show his side. They didn't show Bill Cosby's side piece. The side piece.
Yeah.
No.
Listen, hey, Dr. G, it was no way he was coming home to Claire every day like that without having a...
Yes, it was. What do you mean?
Somebody was feeding him the food he wanted when she made him eat lettuce. That man wanted some meat on his plate.
Ooh, was he in the brownstone right next to them?
I'll tell. Woo!
He's
Man,
a man of
listen,
means.
man.
That neighborhood was affluent. He's a man of means. That neighborhood was affluent. Logic would dictate that he could have allegedly had another woman in the brownstone right next to them, right in the Brooklyn area.
Yep.
A lot of freedmen baddies in that area at that time.
Yep.
Of course. Of course. And Claire knew. Claire knew. But she also knew her duty, her wifely duties, and to maintain the family, right? Right, Mrs. Light-Skinned? Allegedly. Allegedly. We don't need to kick Bill Cosby while he's going through. Just all alleged. Just what's that? Speculative.
Speculation. Yeah,
Speculation.
speculatory.
Allegedly, we don't know.
I got another one. Yo, what Prime just said, or maybe what I just said, it made me think of something else. It made me think of something else. You remember Family Matters? You ever remember watching Family Matters and remember every time a guy came to date Rachel, he looked at little Richie like, yeah,
Mm. Mm.
I'm so dead.
He side eye that. You ever seen that? Every single time he go to pick Rachel up for a date, little Richie be there and the flowers drop. He's just like, oh man, this woman got a kid. Maybe they were telling us something. Back then, they was telling us something.
What they
I
was
just thought I'd throw that out there.
They was telling us, Dre.
If you notice, Rachel was bad at that time. She was bad, and like the dudes that come on take out. You never seen Rachel have a long lasting relationship on Family Matters. Cause she had little Richie.
Wop bam woo bop wop bam boom.
Oh my gracious, man. Shout out to the pioneers of it, man. Listen, Dr. G in Prime, before there was a Rachel from Family Matters, there was a Walona from Good Times. Men in and out that apartment. Walona had a new boyfriend every episode.
You talking now.
Shout out to that pioneer woman. That is a woman of the Lord. She had a man in and out that room.
You talking now. Mrs. Light-Skinned is very quiet. I'm surprised.
Uh-oh.
She's very quiet. I'm surprised. Baffled.
Oh,
I told you the Lord was gonna put a word on my heart, and He just did. He said, "Don't forget about Walona. Don't forget about Walona.
Not Walona.
These are the conversations that need to be had.
What's that, Jesus?
But Walona
Another
was a
thing.
woman.
Another thing just come to me. How come when Thelma finally got married, he went from playing football for the Chicago Bears to being a drunk. Keith was a drunk and a cab driver. What? Oh man. Oh Lord, man. I just thought of that. This man was an NFL player, married Thelma from Good Times, and became a drunk cab driver.
Yeah, but didn't he? Because he got injured, though, remember?
Hey, right, at the wedding. What is that telling you, black man? What is that telling you?
He got injured at the wedding?
At the wedding. Tripped over JJ's foot towards meniscus.
Oh, right. Yep.
That's telling me don't get married.
Woo.
Don't get married.
Don't get married.
Don't get married.
Get married.
I'm telling you.
Day.
What it's telling me, not in that circumstance, it's telling me not to get married because that's the beginning of the end.
Wow.
And listen, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. My father said something one day because I was raised, even though that was way before my time, the reruns and syndication happened. And I remember watching Good Times with my father when James supposedly died. He said, boy, he left that family.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Now he walked away and left him.
He said he died. No, that man in Arizona with his woman, and he has got his feet up. He left them kids in Chicago. He said he in Arizona and Mississippi, wherever he died at.
On James. I ain't gonna go that far.
He said, boy, he left that family.
James is a good man. I ain't gonna put that on James. I think he really did die because that was the whole show. Good Times was just all bad shit. Always happening.
All bad.
All bad shit always happening.
Yes,
but because we're American freedmen, that's a part of our history.
Absolutely.
It's a part of the plight.
Yep.
We still go on and we still endure. And that's just the way life is supposed to be. We can't get heaven on earth.
No.
We got to get it when we dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Dr. G, do you have conversations with younger women, especially since you are a doctor and a clinician? Do you have conversations with younger women about their criteria, and is too outgoing? Is it just too outlandish to ask for, or do you think they have the right to want what they want, and then it's up to men to actually adjust to it?
I mean, everyone has the right to want what they want, but I
Hmm.
mean, are your wants realistic? I mean, because
Right.
in the end, if your wants aren't realistic, then you're going to be the one disappointed.
Right.
So it's almost kind of like you're setting yourself up for the failure. I
Mm.
mean,
Do the
you
but do
you
the
know you have
women?
to.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, and I was just saying. I mean, you have to really take into account all those things, and most young people don't. So I will say that. But as far as the young
Dang,
people or young
I ain't gonna put
ladies
that
that
all on the youngins, cause the
right,
youngins is learning from the
from
olders,
the older, yeah, from the
and
older
the
women,
olders ain't choosing
sometimes.
properly neither.
No, you're right.
Olders are not
And that's what
choosing
I'm
properly.
saying. It just depends the generation. And then too, the kids nowadays don't really want to learn from the older people. So then again, they're teaching each other their own demise.
Why would they
So
want to learn from an older group of women, a generation of women who are miserable and lonely?
yes, or it's that.
Why would they
So
want to learn from that?
well,
Now they're out
true,
here.
but
Let's
I
let's
mean,
keep it
they're
real.
not
They're out here on their own. They're out here on their own trying to figure it
exactly.
out.
Most
Because
children are. Yep,
the example from the mother in the home, it's it's not the best
if
example.
she's
The
in the
mother does
home.
the best she can, but she's trying to figure it out on her own. And a lot of times the elders are giving them horrible advice. The elders are
Mm-mm.
dying off.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
Elders are dying off. They're not getting in direct communication with the elders who will impart that wisdom and knowledge upon them. So they have to figure it out on their own,
Mm.
and they're left to be self-destructive.
Right, but you also have to realize too, with this
Cause we
day and
got
age
Cardi
of
B
children,
teaching them.
with these
It's
with
Cardi
these day and
B.
age of children,
You're
they
not
really
gonna you
don't.
don't see Doctor Shahrazad Ali teaching the masses. She's not in the algorithm.
Well,
Cardi B
then too.
is. Nicki
Oof.
Minaj is.
But again, that's all because it's all bells and whistles and glamorous and all of that. Kids don't really want to learn from elders anymore. Elders are not important to this generation, like elders were very important to my generation.
Hmm. I
You
disagree.
know, and oh God, I don't at all. Because I look at like my niece and sometimes even my daughters, like they'll say shit, and I'm looking at them motherfuckers. I'm like, did you just really say that shit in front of me? Because I'm thinking if I had said that shit in front of my moms, my kids wouldn't even be on earth because I would have been dead. You
Hmm.
know, it's just kind of like that type of thing. I'm just like, wow, really? So this is
Hmm.
how they talk, and and then if someone says something, and then the first thing they'll say, I heard my niece one day, someone had said something, and she was an older lady, and
Hmm.
my niece Alex was like, "Oh my God, do you hear that old ass woman? Nobody wants to hear her." I mean,
Hmm.
that's how they think and talk.
Hmm.
The kids don't care about their elders. And
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know how they got like that. I mean, I'm sure it could be the upbringing sometimes, or maybe just their situation has made them numb to caring, or it's just all the kids are fucked. I mean,
Hmm.
it's really sad. It is really disheartening because even my 30-year-old daughter, I tell her every single freaking day, I wouldn't want any of your generation to be my bankers, my attorneys, my doctors. I just don't.
Mm.
I
Damn.
That's
don't.
deep.
I really, really
Pause.
don't.
Pause.
And
Pause.
why is that? And why is that though?
Because they don't get it.
Hmm.
They
Mm.
don't get it, and they're really not capable of getting it.
Wow.
So, it's sad. It's so disheartening, you guys. And that's
I don't
why I
agree with
say,
that at all. I don't agree with
oh,
that
I
at all.
do. Oh, I
I think
do.
respectfully, Mrs. Light Skin did, the elders can have the conversation with the youth. It's the elders, which is the majority, who are drowning out the elders, and they're posing as elders, and they're not.
Right.
They're
Elders are
disconnected
gone.
to the youth,
Do
and they
elders
talk at the
even
youth. They
exist?
talk down on you. They talk down on them. They talk at the youth, and they don't try to build with the youth at all. At all, they do a horrible job with the leadership and with the knowledge and the experience in bringing them along the fold. They do a horrible job. There is no communication, and I know I would consider you a great example. But when you say things like, you don't think they're capable, why would someone who is of the youth want to engage with you? I don't think that they would want to talk to you because it's like, damn, like that's how you think of me. Well, let me just try to figure it out on my own. You know, let me just figure it out on my own. If I fuck up, I fuck up because nobody believes in me anyway. I got to figure it out. I
Mm,
got to figure it out. I think at the very worst, we got to give them the benefit of doubt. These are the babies.
right.
It's our job to teach them, even when they're difficult. Now, some of them are the Dr. Umar Johnsons for good, and I think that's who for good. I think that's who you're referring to, which I agree. Those are the for good.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking
And
about.
that
I'm being
those are the
respectful.
90 babies.
I'm being
Yeah.
respectful because we on
It
the homie Jesus Shuttleworth platform, but there is a percentage of them who are the for goods, and they done. They done.
I think
But
but real quick, Dr. G, in the age of vanity, right? Do you think these women between the ages of like let's say 25 and 35, right, that has these outrageous
okay.
criteria for men, do you think they for once think like how is this man going to fit all of these physical prerequisites, all of these intellectual prerequisites, and all these financial prerequisites and just have me? Dude, why don't women like run this thing through their mind to say, if I want this Superman, how many other women want this Superman? And why do
mm,
I just think that I'm gonna just have this one Superman? If he's Superman, he should probably have like a legion of women, right?
yep,
Why don't women think like that?
good point.
Because we're not. I mean, that's just never our MO is to have multiple or even to think that a guy that you like or you're kicking it with has the opportunity to have multiple women. That's like trauma.
Mm,
Mm,
He's a good
that makes sense.
guy. He's a Superman or whatever. To actually think about that every day, like, damn, this guy I like, we're kicking it,
mm-hmm.
but he's a Superman. He could have
Right.
that bitch, this bitch, that bitch. That's mental torment.
Mm,
Why would you
Mm.
even want to put yourself through that?
that's what y'all want. That's what y'all
Well,
want.
as a doctor,
That's what
I
y'all
know
want.
that even though you're a lady, as a doctor, you still have to practice a certain amount of scientific logic in your approach to life, right? And so, let me ask you a question. Do you feel that your husband is equally yoked as you in education wise or in career wise?
I know that he's not.
You know that he's not. Okay, but does he make
Yeah.
anywhere near you as a doctor, as a clinician, or does he make less than you?
Less he's always, but that doesn't make
Okay.
him less than.
No, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't make him less than. Does he work? It does. Do you consider his job professional or trade driven or like skilled or like
It was
is
more.
mm,
It was more trades.
it was? Is he still with us or I don't want to?
No, no, he's still with us.
Okay.
He doesn't work anymore.
Okay, he's
So
retired.
yes,
Okay.
Mm,
So, but you said, but it was more skill driven, right?
yes,
Okay.
definitely.
So, like, being that means you had a good man because you said you had multiple kids with him. Y'all still married, and he's reached the age of retirement, right?
Yes.
So, like, as a clinician, like, you didn't
kind
like
of, no,
one.
not really.
Well, kind of,
Not
but maybe he
really,
just
but,
okay. He threw in
it
it,
came out. It's really for like health issues more so.
Okay, so he had more of a health issue.
Yes.
So, but when he was healthy, like on Christmas, we're in the holidays now, right? Did you ever go out Christmas shopping for him and the kids and say, well, let me go get his side piece something too? Because she made sure he comes home to me every night.
Yeah, because you know what? His side piece was me.
His side piece was you as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm multiple.
Whoa.
I'm whatever he needs and wants me to be, baby. So
Yeah,
I did.
I'm sure you're that at the home.
Treat his side piece.
Yeah, I'm sure you that at home. I'm talking about his other side piece that allows him to come home to you.
I'm that in the streets too. Yeah, we go to the grand motels and all of that. Oh, absolutely. I'm the side piece.
So y'all role play. So there's times where he pick you up from the host stroll and say, "Girl, my wife acting up. Can I get a quick date?" You ever did that for you to keep y'all thing?
How you gotta do it? Spice it up.
Yeah, you say you everything. So
That's right, and he's everything for me.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Hot topics.
This is why y'all probably still married. Because if you say all that, if you willing to act like the pretty woman character to keep your marriage alive, that'll be dope.
Yeah.
That'll be dope.
You are a wife with and sometimes you're the hooker with the heart of gold.
Right.
There you go. And them stiletto pumps, right?
All right. But let's keep it real, Mrs. Light Skinned. Let's keep it real. Y'all want the torture. Y'all want that man. Y'all want that man who's Superman, and all the thousands and millions of Lois Lanes want him. So that when you conquer that man, you could say that I sat on it whenever I wanted.
Woo!
Right?
That's mine, a fact.
And he's mine, and none of you bitches don't even compare. He chose me, right? Y'all want that torture.
Yes.
Y'all want
Absolutely.
that torture. Y'all don't
Absolutely.
care. Y'all don't care what y'all feel. Y'all just want to feel something.
Oof.
Y'all just want to feel something. It's better than nothing. The feeling of something is better than nothing. It's passion, intensity, and even if he's torturing you mentally, you love it. You love it. You love being mind fucked. You love it.
Well, yeah, if you're with the right one.
You love it. Of course, Superman.
So, do you agree with this statement, Dr. G?
Superman
a wise
is the
man
right
was...
one. Trillions of the women's want him, so he is the right
one. I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you agree with this, Dr. G? To smack your woman in public is abuse. To smack her at home is called passion.
Right?
Oh, hell fucking no. You mean smack her on the ass or smack her in her face?
It's a love tap. Just a love tap.
Listen, they say all women want to be is what? A hug when they right, when they wrong. That's it.
Oh,
give them a tune up. So hold on, Dr. G. I'm gonna put you on the Jeopardy. Hold on. You telling me in all the years you've been married, your husband ain't give you, had to stomp your ears together at least twice?
Oh, hell no! I swear to God, my husband has never, ever fucking laid his hands on me. And
your husband ain't give you a tune-up at least once.
He better not.
All right. I respect that. I believe her.
He ain't say to you, you may be the doctor, but I'm writing a prescription.
Oh, my God!
Yo, I'm done.
Shit. And if that nigga even think about the thought of him wanting to hit me, he know he's 6 feet under. No,
it's a pot of hot grits with his name on it. I hear that. I mean, but but on a serious note, like I just don't understand that when women want these dynamic men and think that these dynamic men will only be exclusive to them. I just think that's kind of like fantastical.
Vanity.
I think that's
vanity.
It's vanity, Dre. It's vanity.
It is. Absolutely.
That's what it is, the age of vanity.
No, be. She could have this fantastical guy, and he be just with her, loyal to her.
Absolutely not.
Yep.
Oh
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely not. Because
Oh
Superman is
this
a
is,
yeah.
cartoon.
you
Superman is a
know,
cartoon. It's not
what
real.
this shows, not only the vanity of you ladies, it shows the selfishness. Why would you want another woman to share in the love and the guidance of this man who's providing it not just for
Goodbye.
you, but just for another
Goodbye.
family, right? See, Big
That's
Daddy
a good
back
man
in
right there.
right, Big Daddy back in our day, he knew. He said, "Yo, I'm so good of a father to my wife and my family over here that I got to go create another one on the other side of town because there's another
Exactly.
woman who's in need of
Right.
another good man and who can also have another good family, right? This is why when he died, there was one family to the
Absolutely
right,
not.
there was one family in the center, and there was one family in the left at his funeral because he
Exactly.
understood that the Lord put him on this earth to be that guiding light, that
Not.
beacon of hope.
Yes.
Not.
There was a
Yes.
reason why no matter what
Not.
woman house he went to, the big piece of chicken was waiting on the table for him because they
Right.
knew when he left that house, it was a 12-round fight. It was an all-out war, but he had to come
Mm.
home and do what he had to do for all three of those families, right?
He knew
Don't
the
you think
assignment.
that?
He
Exactly.
understood the assignment and
Not.
he did his job as a man.
Absolutely. As
And the
Prime would
woman
say,
understood her assignment. It all
absolutely.
worked out.
And as Prime would say, the burden to produce,
Yeah.
right? He understood that, right? Right, Dr.
Women,
G?
women. See,
No.
women be
No.
capping.
Wrong.
Yes.
Wrong.
Yes. Y'all be
Dr. G is
capping
capping.
because as
Yeah,
long as that man is producing for you, you'll accept it.
absolutely.
You'll accept it.
Absolutely.
Not.
Absolutely.
You'll accept it.
Not. See, I
Okay,
mean, to
Dr.
me, that's the ultimate sin. So, I'm not into community dick. Never
Mm,
have been. So if a guy ever did cheat on me and I found
hmm
out about it, I don't do community dick. So I walk away.
mm.
I'm good with that. I don't need no man to complete me. I never have needed one.
But
So
here's the
it's
question. You say he's cheating on you, right? Do you feel like when you made love to him or when y'all was affectionate, you gave him your all, correct?
right.
So he's not supposed to share that with another woman and say, look, this is what my woman over here on this
Hell
side of town does.
no.
I'm going to do the same thing for you because she give me her all. I'm going to share what
You
she's
know
giving.
what, Dre?
It's called
I am not
philanthropy.
even going down this road with you. Hell to the no.
See how selfish
That
they
is
are? Like
Yeah,
you can't
that
vanity.
even
is
be
not
right.
It's
selfish.
You
all
can't even
vanity.
be
It's all about me,
you
me,
can't
me,
even
me,
be a
me.
philanthropic
My,
person
my,
to your
my, my,
Oh
community.
my.
hell no.
Now. Me. It's all
Yeah,
about them. They don't want to share. There's nothing wrong with spreading our love around. That's what we're supposed to do. That's the assignment,
that's the
especially when we can
assignment.
protect and provide.
Oh, I cannot. I
What's wrong with that?
cannot with you all.
Y'all are
Dr.
selfish.
G, with all this hate in the world, we just need a little bit of love. We just need to spread it.
Yeah,
And that's the problem,
selfish.
right? We can't be selfish. I can't be like, well, I got my Dr. G. Sorry, Gertrude. Sorry, Diane. Sorry,
Gertrude.
Brewhilda. I can't deal with that because I got one. No. I'm like, okay, look, Gertrude, you're Tuesday. Diane, you're every second Wednesday, right? You got to make out a plan,
That's right.
right? We can't be so selfish.
Organizing.
Dr. G, you are a doctor. So as you know that there's a job to do, right? You know you have to give of yourself to your community and your knowledge, right? And that's what a man does,
Right,
when
but
he's
you
sharing
give
himself.
of yourself to others in a safe, logical, ethical way. You do not put them at risk by suggesting that you share your love with strangers.
How's that a
But he
That is
know
stranger?
them.
not
He knows all of
that
them.
is
How is
not
it a
how
stranger?
that works.
He knows all of them. He knows
That's
all of them.
exactly.
Uh,
He
How's
knows
that
all
well,
of them.
stranger?
they don't know each other.
They don't have to. That's
They
what
don't
makes
have
it
Yes,
to.
work.
they
That's what makes it
do.
work.
That's what makes it work.
That's what
No,
makes it work.
no, no, it doesn't. Because you have to allot them the right to make the decision if they want to be involved in that type of situation, sharing you, because women are emotional creatures. We
Absolutely. And
don't like
selfish.
to share. We don't,
Right,
yeah.
right.
We
Selfish,
don't
right.
like to share. And
Right.
we
That's the
should,
Right.
whole. That's the name of the title, vanity.
Vanity.
no,
The
shut
vanity.
up. Not wanting to share your man is not a vanity issue. That's
Yes,
like
it is.
common damn sense.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes,
I don't.
it
Vanity.
is.
If he's
Our
able to
communities will
provide,
never heal until men are allowed to share.
this is
Until you ladies are willing. I'm sorry. Until you ladies are willing to allow us
this
to
is
go
what
out
happens,
and be
sisterhood.
beacons of hope.
This is how community works.
Yes.
This is how community works. You call it community slong. I'll call it being a man of the community. You uplift others in the community, other women in the community, and you protect and you provide for them. It's
Absolutely.
reciprocal. It's
Absolutely.
reciprocal. You just can't have
Absolutely.
one family unit. We got to make all the community family units and the women in there strong. The American
Yeah.
freaking family.
You
Not
got your pad and pen
happening.
out? Do you got your pad and pen out?
That's right. That's free game.
God.
Free
Free
99.
trauma. That's free trauma.
Free 99. But you already admitted that you love the trauma. So, I mean, the ladies, y'all love this trauma. Y'all love it. This is what y'all want. We just giving y'all what y'all really want.
Exactly.
We giving y'all what y'all want.
Not. Now that right there is vanity. That statement right
No.
there.
No, Mrs. Light Skinned, it is not vanity because this is what you want. You want Superman, and this is what comes with Superman. These are the rules. These are the rules. We have to understand and accept the nature of man and woman. This is why it's inevitable, Mrs. Light Skinned. It's inevitable this way. That's why this is nothing but a rerun.
Yeah.
Nothing but a rerun. This has been happening since the beginning of time. Men have not changed. Women, by nature, they haven't changed. I think in this day and age, though, they are getting worse because, as you mentioned earlier, uh, they have very unrealistic expectations, and the guys that are available to them, they don't know how to pick them or they don't know how to choose properly. And they're looking for the guy that they see on Instagram because their friend or some random chick that they don't know, that's what they see instead of the man who's at their job or who she may see often. She doesn't see him as a qualified man for her, even though he's the best man for her and the best man available for her. She doesn't want that because in her mind, her vanity, narcissistic, selfish mind, he's average. Average.
Well, Dr.
No,
G,
you know it's
the
true,
one thing
Mrs.
the one thing we learned is that not only are y'all vain, there's so much selfishness that we have to get to the crux of in order to heal these communities. We got to be able to look past our individualistic views. And like I said, when you out shopping for Christmas, make sure you pick up your man's side piece something. She worked hard to
Mm-hmm.
keep him happy to bring him home to you.
Wow, that's love.
It is such a beautiful thing,
That's
you know.
love.
So just think about that, Dr. G.
Wow, such a sick, traumatic thing.
Side piece is a very integral part of the relationship. Very important variable in the relationship, Mrs. Lightskin. Very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Balance. Balance will
Ab-
be had. Balance.
Absolutely. You gotta understand, Dr. G. He ain't gotta remember his side piece birthday. He ain't gotta remember when he first met her. He ain't gotta remember the second date that they took on the third month of knowing each other. He has to do that with you. So what happens is she gives him
Not.
the refueling that he needs to take on his wife, and that's just the bottom line.
Not. Not.
And he
Not.
does all of that
Not.
with you, Mrs. Lightskin. Did he don't do that with her. He does all of that stuff with you.
Oh, so that's supposed to make it all right, huh?
Absolutely.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Absolutely. But you love that man. Y'all got
That
babies together.
man.
Y'all got babies together. You married him. You said yes. When he got down on one knee and started singing Shalimar, this
Not
is
Shalimar.
for the lover in me.
I
Yeah.
can't.
He said, take this ring. It'll mean I'll always be true. And
Yeah,
that's
but
what he's
that's not
doing.
being true.
He is.
It is being true.
No, it's not being true.
It is.
Not unless that's the choice, both people make.
She
But
chose that
no
man.
way.
She chose
It's
that
being
man.
true. I don't see why, like I say, it's a difference between, to me, if no, it's not. That like
So
I
much.
say, that man has to do a community. If he is a man that is strong enough to carry that load of not only being your husband, but having his side family on the other side of town. Listen, man, what's better than two billionaires? A black middle class. But what's better than one wife? Having families on the side that you can take care of and help them support and go to college and be the best they can be. You got to
Goodbye.
think of it like that.
Not
He don't wanna
happening.
come running home to you.
I'm
Home
telling
to
you.
you. You
Hey,
give me
Dr. G,
sweet
my last question to you is this. My last question to you is this. Has there
love.
ever been a day where, you know how you cook for, I don't know if you cook for your husband like that, right? Like, especially when y'all were younger. But ever been a day he just came home and devoured your food more than he ever did? Like, you like, man, he was hungry. You know why, right? He came
Oh,
from
he
his
was doing a
side piece.
side piece.
Yes.
Boy, bye.
Yes,
Yes.
Not
yes.
happening.
A lot of time the side piece doesn't know how to cook as well as the wife. So what
Right.
I'm
happens is he
done.
be starving after all of that plowing and stuff that he has to do. He comes
All
home
that
and he's
exercise,
starving.
huh? Workout.
Yes, yes, because he had a longer shift that night at work,
Mhm.
and so he comes home and devour your food. Right? That
Mhm.
makes you feel better.
Mhm.
Not.
Be the one
I'm
to
telling
come
you.
running home to you. He's running home, home to you. To Dr. G. He's running home. He can't wait to get off work and run home to you.
That's a fact. That is
Oh,
a
Home to
whole
y'all are
fact.
you. You give
horrible.
me sweet love. Right?
That's a fact.
Y'all
With a
are
woman like you,
horrible.
don't need to mess around.
Gave
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
he told
okay.
you. That's what he told you. And it
No,
put you,
hell
it
no.
gave you peace.
you
Gave you
peace of
Mm-mm.
peace.
mind. Gave
Peace
you
of
peace of mind.
mind.
It
And that's
No
what you
absolutely
way.
did.
need. He knows what
Absolutely.
you need.
Absolutely.
He gave you peace.
Absolutely.
Peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Y'all
Absolutely.
are just really terrible.
Dr. G, man, listen, I appreciate you for being honest to an extent. Outside of your husband's side pieces, you have been very transparent with this conversation tonight. Um, one day when you're laying in bed with him, just say to him, well, how many side pieces did you have without, he's going to tell you. He's going to tell you. Y'all at the age
Right,
now where he doesn't have to lie. He
Right.
can,
not gonna tell. Yeah,
He
he's
already
gonna
caught
tell me
you. He
side
already got
pieces.
you.
What do
He
you
already
mean?
got
I ain't
you.
had no side pieces.
he gonna say to you, he gonna say, whatever y'all, he's gonna look at you with sovereignty in his eyes. He's gonna say, whatever years we've been married and all these kids, and you think I have a side piece of three? He gonna be like, of
Oh,
course.
Mm-hmm. This
not.
is for the lover in me.
He say, look,
This
you think I
ring
was able
I'll
to come
show
home to you
you
and
that
these little
there
kids every
ain't
night?
no maybe.
Yeah,
Y'all
come
are
on.
horrible.
This is what it
So
is.
that is what it is.
But you're enjoying this because we know what you want and what you need.
Absolutely,
Y'all don't know.
absolutely,
Y'all don't know. That's why y'all need us. And that's why we're here to assist you.
absolutely,
Companionship.
absolutely.
Companionship. This is a man's world.
Uh-oh.
This is a man's world.
Uh-oh.
My relative, I'll just say, my relative. This is a man's world, Mrs. Light Skinned. But it would be nothing,
No, it's not.
nothing without a woman or a girl.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
We got to make it work.
Right. Because
Got to make
without
it work.
someone like me, you guys wouldn't even exist, you little critters.
Wow. See, vanity. That's that vanity again because you see the man. See James Brown gave credit to the man and the woman, but how
Absolutely.
you interpreted that was in your mind. Well, it was all me. That's vanity. Age of vanity.
The age of
Not gonna
vanity.
have that baby, or unless you the new coming of Mary, the new immaculate conception. You didn't have that baby on your own.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. G, I appreciate
Do
you, man. I wish Riri could have joined us today and added her 2 cents. And I wish Mo probably somewhere asleep. Um, but yo, I want to finish this. If we can get back on tomorrow or maybe sometime this week, I want to have Mo. I'm gonna have a whole illustration of the year, the age of vanity. I'm gonna go a little bit more deeper into it. I did this on the fly while I was still in my head because of what Prime said was very pertinent. Like it's the truth. It's just we're in the age of vanity, and I just don't think men have developed the mechanism to understand. Like, yo, I got to switch this up. Like, average is not working. It's just not. It's
Mm.
just not.
So
And
what should the men do? Should we just say fuck it, man? It is what it
But
is.
when you say average, what do you mean average? Like in average in looks, or average in what you're bringing to the table,
well,
or
everything. Listen, you can't jog off ugly, right? I get that. You can go to the gym every day of the week. You're gonna be ugly, right? But a handsome how can I say a handsome body and an ugly face is better than an ugly face and an ugly body for a man. Um, listen, women, you have to play to women's vanity if you're going to be successful in the dating market. So you have to also, as a man, listen. We know we ain't got we know our certain progeny ain't got no money, but listen, you got to kind of present yourself in a certain way to these women. Um, obviously, you listen. I have never seen a beautiful woman in my life drive up to a Burger King drive-through and say, "Oh, you look like you got potential. Put that burger down and jump in my bin." So you got to have something.
Mm.
You got to have something, right?
Mm.
So all I'm saying in totality is that average doesn't make it. It
Mm.
just doesn't make it. It doesn't. And like I asked Prime before you jumped on, Dr. G, and he said he sees it as well. Like, especially in where we at in this city where these New York City chick is not easy to obtain. Like they're not easy to get. You know, they're in abundance, but they're not easy to get.
Mm.
They have their taste. So I just wanted to throw that out there. This is really just part one. I'm gonna really go
Mm.
into it sometime, maybe Tuesday. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get Mo. Even if y'all can't jump on, I'll send y'all the link of the
All right.
YouTube to watch it. And
Who's
I'm a,
Mo?
I'm
Who's Mo?
Monica Lamb.
Okay.
And so because like I said, I usually let her do the screen sharing for me while I talk. That way, it's more fluid.
Uh huh.
You know. And so I want to really like go through I want to give you the illustrations like how James had Florida, Sherman had Wheezy, right? But then when you look at these newer movies and these newer sitcoms, like these dudes are like they're sex symbols, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not a sex symbol, but your lady or the lady that you're trying to pursue is all they seeing is sex symbols, how do you amount to that? And that's just the bottom line.
well, let me ask you guys, the girls or ladies that you guys say are vanity and want a guy for X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the other. Do you guys really want those women? I mean, is that the type of woman that you desire where it just kind of is bothering you? Or do you kind of be like, oh, well, fuck
Yes,
her, you know?
yes, yes. Because the moral of the story is all women are vanity driven.
Absolutely.
All,
Absolutely.
a
All.
100%, all,
Yeah.
all. The answer to
You
your
know,
question would be yes.
yeah. Listen, Dr. G, you heard my theory on this before. The only time in our community nowadays where you see an out of shape guy with an out of shape woman or a normal, average looking guy, whether it be height, weight, and just style, right? With a same thing with a woman is usually church. Why? Because you're in the same proximity every week. And what happens as you get older and you grow up with each other, you be like, what are my options? Right? Because it's like, then it's like, I see you every Sunday, Saturday, Wednesday, choir rehearsal, right? And I know who you are and I know what you like. And I ain't gonna be the pinnacle of fitness no time soon. You ain't gonna start wearing your Spanx no time soon. Let's just get married. But in the streets, where it's blood sport, come on, man. You know, it's peacocks out here. So, like Prime said, the answer is yes. Like I say, outside of church, and I'm telling you, test that theory, Dr. G. Go to a church and look at a married couple for the most part. Average man, average woman. And 9 times out of 10, they met each other in that church over the years, right? That's why you have singles ministries, right? That's why you have to go through the marriage counseling before you get married in a lot of churches, right? Because you know the person. It's just like, all right, yeah, y'all just gonna end up with each other. I've seen them. A lot of my cousins and people that when I used to, deal in that, believe in that type of concept, I saw it. Now, me, who just have the worst luck in the world, when I was in church, I couldn't get a girl to go on me, right? But that's just me. But that's life. That'll be on my new show, Everybody Hates Me. But, when I was in church, shoot,
Mm,
and they could listen, I couldn't get a rat to sit next to me, let alone a woman.
mm,
So it just didn't matter.
damn,
Not a
I'm
rat.
telling you. I'm telling you,
ratatouille.
boy, you'd have thought I farted in the church. I always was by myself. But for the most part, you see average get average,
Mm,
inside of the church because you see each other every week. You're in the same proximity, and then it becomes almost a habitual thing. It's like, yo, I know I'm gonna see so and so at 11 a.m. every Sunday. You know,
I want to read something that was in the chat. I think this was very interesting. I don't know if that's
read it.
okay.
Yeah, read it.
Doctor Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Read it.
So this is from Rawwin Thutmose. The man is the sun, and the woman are the planets in his orbit.
Woo! Preach.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Do you believe
Man
that?
is the sun, and the woman are the planets in his
Mm,
orbit.
mm,
So the man is in the center of the universe. That's how I'm
mm.
interpreting this. Chief
Facts.
Friedman, Chief Justice, reparations. And I'm interpreting this law, this universal law, as the man is uh, the center of the universe, and those women are orbiting him because he is the center of that universe. Without the sun, there will be no planets. Those planets need that sun, just like the Earth needs the sun. Yeah. And the sun gets great pleasure and comfort and peace in providing that sunlight, that life to the planets. It's reciprocal. The circle of life. I'll leave it right there. Very good testimony from Rowan Thutmose. Rowan Thutmose. I don't know if that's a man or a woman. I would say that is a man. But if that is a woman, wise words nonetheless. Sage. Sage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, the problem with our, if let's just say we use the universal structure, let's say we use the solar system, like he said, or like the person said, right? If the sun moved into the position of Jupiter, then the whole solar system would be messed up. And we've
Mm.
seen how our counterparts have shifted,
Mm.
right? The our solar system. This is why our universe is messed up, man.
Mm.
You know, when are the women
Mm.
going to get back in line?
Mm.
Right? So our solar system can be put back into place, right?
Mm.
Dr. G, that is your homework assignment, man. You need to go out.
Not my homework.
You need to go out this week and tell all of your students, right?
Mm.
Tell all of your students, listen, the importance of your man having his side piece, the importance of community love, the importance of understanding why when your man comes home from a hard day at work, silence is golden and you better be shining,
Mm.
right? You
I'd
need
be
to tell them
hit with
all of
an
that.
abuse case.
Mm.
Say it again.
I'd be hit with an abuse case.
Mm.
Why? You need to have a like a big sister program, right? And teach
Word.
your little sisters to be great wives and great side pieces for their kings,
My
right?
sister's keeper.
That's it. My sister's keeper.
Oh, hell no.
That's it.
Now let your man have a side piece, honey.
Yes.
Cause that's
Thank
what
you,
he
Jesus.
needs. They
Yes.
would take me out in handcuffs.
That's
Bitches would be killing themselves. They'd be talking about I told them to let their man have a side piece and they wouldn't get hurt. Oh my God, I'd be fucked.
Dr.
Let's
G,
try it.
we could
Let's
make
try it
so
and
much
see what happens.
money. We could make so much money if you wrote a book called Number Two, The Art of the Side Piece
Yeah.
by Dr. G. That's it.
Let's
Oh
try it. Let's
shit.
try it and see what happens. What's been happening isn't working.
Oh
It's not
God,
That's
we
working. Let's
it.
try
approve
something different.
everything.
Let's try something different,
Number
Mrs. Light.
two, The Art of the Side Piece.
Yeah, let's try something different. What we've been doing hasn't been working. We got to do something different, Mrs. Lightskinned. Something different. And this
Right.
is not. It's not community schlong, as you said. This is community family, community unit,
Woo.
community units. Women will not be single. They'll be protected and provided for,
Yes. Yes.
and it'll build a more communal environment. Thriving, thriving.
What, like Dr. G, what you consider trauma and cheating, I consider philanthropy.
That's right.
That's it. It's
Oh,
just philanthropy. It's just
oh, is that what
philanthropy.
it is?
It's just me loving my brother and my sister enough to understand that every sister needs a man, like Prime just said, to do the guidance and to be there physically and emotionally when that person needs it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't see the problem in that, and that's why you need to have your sister's keeper, where you're doing outreach for these young women and telling them where they're going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta look some of these sisters in their face and say, listen, all of y'all not gonna be the wife with the 3 kids. Some of y'all are gonna be the one that's gonna make his plate during his lunch hour
Right.
when he come to your house and deliver that, and you deliver his plate.
Right. Some of y'all are gonna be like the scissor song, The Weekend.
That's it.
Oh
Weekend.
God.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You have your time. He has his time with you, and y'all make it work. It's a team effort. White supremacy is a team sport. So for us to counter it, we have to work as a team, a family unit. Family. Friedman family unit at that. Friedman family. Right?
Wrong.
Damn. It's gonna take some time, Doctor Jesus Shuttlesworth. It's gonna take some time, but they'll get it. They'll get it. I believe in our women. Our women are the best. Freedmen women forever.
Yes, that's right. Forever. So
Freedmen
don't
women
put
forever.
more trauma on them than they need.
Sometimes they need that trauma for the push to get them to understand that this is what it has to be. People got activated when Trump was in office. They got activated. And again, you laughed when I said women, y'all love to be mind fucked. Y'all love the psychological warfare and trauma. You want to feel something. You like the emotional roller coasters. You love it. Y'all come back to it every time. Because he made you feel
Nah.
something. People will not, people will forget about what you did for them, but they never forget how you make them feel.
Oh, God.
They never forget how you made them feel. The beautiful thing about humanity. And you women, y'all have it in spades, emotions. I think it is your blessing and your curse. But we're here to help you
Absolutely.
balance it out. We're here to help balance it out as men.
That's it. Hug them when they right, smack them when they wrong. That's it. That's just balancing them out.
Right.
The scales of justice shall prevail.
Right.
But on that note, Dr. G and Prime, I appreciate y'all. We're gonna pick this up on Tuesday and we'll finish it out. If y'all available, if not, I'll just do like a little like 30-minute thing where I'm showing like the difference in like how it progressed to this point with the optics of how men have become like how through television, through social media, we have kind of like we kind of like played a part of our own demise. Like we can't compete against a lot of these men who are using filters in a picture, which is weird, but they do. And the fact that women are in their vanity stage, which they always are, but it's just exacerbated now because everything is at their access to be more vain. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to
I
talk
take it
about that.
I take it a step further. We can't compete against the self destructiveness of the mind of the woman.
Well, that whew, that's a that we there you go, another homework assignment, Doctor G. You're the psychologist.
Not you
Break
guys are
down,
destructing. You're making their minds destructive. Look at the
not at
stuff,
all,
the
Here we go.
burdens you're laying on them.
Here we
not
go.
at all.
Rule. Remember, it always goes back to rule number one in the woman's constitution: blame the man.
Blame the man.
Blame the
All
man.
else fails, blame us,
Oh,
right?
not.
Blame the
But
man.
yo, that's just how we want to do it. But I appreciate y'all. We'll end this one now, and we will reconvene soon. So peace to
Sounds
y'all, and
like a
I'm
plan.
out. All
Good
right, yo.
night.
Yep.
Peace.